All content featured on the Taylor Show is intended for entertainment purposes only. All stories discussed herein are based on alleged events and personal opinions. Nothing shared should be taken as fact or professional advice. Any viewpoints expressed are solely those of host and do not represent any business or organizations.
Hello, and welcome back to the Taylor Show. I'm your host, I'm Taylor Brooke, and today I have someone very, very special. This is our very first time meeting each other. We've been talking virtually. She's a friend of a friend, and I've become obsessed with her in the past couple months. Here's my friend Carly. Hi, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here.
Me too.
So for people who don't know you, give us a little background on who you are, what you do.
Yeah, my name's Carly Otte. I'm an actor. I'm local to the Philly area, and we got connected, through a mutual friend because I have a film that came out recently, and I was looking to talk about it, share it with the world, and I feel like we were destined to meet.
I think so too. And not only did we just have a friend in common and you're in this cool new film that just came out, but when we first got on a video conference, I felt like I could talk to you for hours and just gossip about things.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy to have you in studio.
We'll get into all of it.
Yes,
Whatever.
We'll get into all of it. So I want to first ask you, you're an actress. I, as a former child actor myself, I don't think I could do this career as an adult. And because I say that because of the rejection portion of it.
Yeah.
I'm a very sensitive soul. You guys are like, no, she's not. No, she's not. She's a fucking crazy bitch on this podcast. No, I'm very sensitive. So tell me, how do you deal with that rejection portion of being an actor?
I think it's interesting. I'm also very sensitive as a person in general. And I notice in times in my life where I'm facing rejection in multiple ways, I feel it in a more heavy way. But I think with my acting, I just kind of accepted from an early age that that's part of the game. Yeah. And I think the key is just longevity, right? If you want to be an artist of any kind, I think it's about okay, I'm in this for the long haul, which I know comes with periods of rejection, periods where maybe I'm not doing it so much, periods of self-doubt, and it's just kind of the roller coaster is part of it. And I don't know if I have a golden answer of what I tell myself. I think I just kind of accepted it. But I do feel it sometimes. Yeah.
Did you start acting at an early age, or was this into adulthood that you?
Yeah, I started, my parents, because I'm an only child.
Okay.
And I think in an attempt to just kind of socialize me from a young age, whatever they could afford to put me in at the time, they'd put me in different classes or camps.
Cool.
And I tried a lot of stuff at a young age. So I did, sports camps and science camps and all kinds of things. But kind of the happy accident out of that was that at 5 years old, I took my first theater class.
That's
camp,
awesome. Yeah.
And was just this is it. This is my life,
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, that's your thing, And so I was very much a theater kid. Film and TV didn't come until I was in my 20s. After college, I moved to New York, and I shifted more into the film and TV side of things. So that was a bit of a later adulthood realization.
Sure.
But I was always a performer kid, for sure.
So what made you move to New York? That's a big move. What made you just decide to, because you said you're a sensitive person, what made you decide, hell, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to move to the big city?
I'm definitely a city person.
Okay.
I love living in the city. I went to New York for the first time on my 16th birthday. My mom said, you can have a sweet 16 party, or we'll take you to New York to see your first Broadway show. And I was like, that. And I was not very popular in school either. I was pretty bullied. So I was like, a big party sounds like my worst nightmare. But going to New York to see my first Broadway show sounds like perfect.
Yeah.
So I saw Legally Blonde on Broadway on
Couldn't
my 16th
be better.
birthday.
Yeah.
I was crying. I was in heaven.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And but I think my first few trips to New York at that age, New York to me was just Times Square.
Sure. My gosh. Yes. Yep.
And I couldn't go to New York without standing in Times Square because that was all I really understood it to be.
Yep.
And then in college, I would go up as much as I can on spring breaks, or in the summer I'd take little trips. Oh. And I think that's when I started to learn what it actually would be like potentially to live there. And it was never really a question. I just thought this is my place. I need to figure it out.
Incredible.
But I moved there at 22, such a little dummy, thinking I knew it all,
sure.
you do at 22.
Yeah.
And actually not at all.
Knowing nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, I was strong-willed, and I got lucky in some respects too, just in terms of, finding, I think things happened the way they happened that allowed me to be able to stay there, and, even finding my first New York apartment.
I was going to ask, where did you live?
My roommate and I, so we went up for like a week in the summer. We viewed a bunch of places. None of them worked out. Kind of a long story, but none of them really worked out, and we ended up leaving the week without signing a lease, but we had to go back.
Right.
And we're just like, okay, I hope it works out. And the real estate agent we'd been working with ended up calling us later and saying, okay, I have this other one that is currently being renovated, and you can move in, August 1st. It'll be done by August 1st.
Awesome.
So we had to sign a lease like sight unseen, which in hindsight is
Anxiety,
so dumb. Like silly dumb, right? But we were just like, yeah, sure, I'm sure it's fine. Like,
you're
so
young,
trusting.
You're 22, why not?
Yeah. We were like so trusting. And he calls us the night before we move. We literally were having a goodbye party at my parents'. Our U-Haul is like packed outside the house. We're like getting ready to drive to New York the next morning with this U-Haul.
Okay.
He calls and he's like, I'm standing in your new apartment. It's beautiful. Like, I can't wait for you to get here tomorrow. Like, you're going to love it. So we're just jazzed.
Yeah.
We roll up to that apartment the next day. There is a construction crew running around it frantically. There's no kitchen. There's no bathroom. There's no lock on the front door.
What? Carly, what? What did you do?
So
this is crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm like the action planner person.
Sure.
Like, my two roommates were panicking, and I was like running around to the construction crew guys. I was like, who's in charge? Like, who's the manager here?
Who do I need to talk to
who
right
do I
now?
talk to? Mm-hmm. And I go up to him, and I was like, look, I know that's not your fault that it's not done. It's our real estate agent's fault for lying to us.
Totally.
And sending us here when it wasn't done.
Literally
he
calling you
clearly
the
just
night
didn't
before.
go to see it and was like hoping for the best. I was like, but I have a U-Haul outside with literally everything I own, and I don't have the money to get a hotel or do anything with it. Like, I'm sleeping here tonight.
Yeah.
So I need a lock. I was like, stop whatever you're doing. Your new priorities are a working toilet and a lock on the front door.
Damn, girl.
Because we can't sleep here tonight without those two things. I was like, the kitchen can wait. We can eat out.
Sure, yeah.
Like, other things can wait. But, like, those are the two things we need. And he said, okay, I got you. And so he, like, went and rounded up his crew and was like, all right, these are our new tasks, lock and toilet.
I love that you walked into a construction site and we're just like, all right, you guys got to listen to me. This is what we need. This is what we need done.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I was like, I don't have any other option. Like, I can't.
You.
Like, what am I going to do with all my stuff,
Was your best friend, like, crying? Was she, like...
Yeah. My two roommates were just like, ah. And they had stuff in every room. And I also said the largest bedroom, I said, I need that completely clear because we're going to move all of our stuff into that room.
Smart. That's really smart, yeah.
So we started unloading the U-Haul just all into one room so that they could still be in the other rooms doing their thing.
Oh my God.
And we like slept on our mattresses on the floor. We ate out.
How long did it take for it to be finished?
It ended up we ended up getting half of all of our like broker fees and like real estate fees back because we threatened to sue them, so they gave us half of it back, which probably should have been all of it back.
Yeah, but okay.
But it was fine. And they said we didn't have to pay rent until everything was done.
Oh,
so we didn't pay rent for our first 2 months.
That's kind of awesome.
Because it took them a really long time to finish I was like, we're not paying rent until every trim and detail is done.
Heck yeah. Oh my God. I didn't see this conversation going there.
I didn't either. But that was like my intro to New York.
And you stayed.
Yes. Well, because I rolled up. I didn't have a job there. It was like literally all the money I have went into this apartment.
Yeah.
I have a month's rent paid and a month to like get a job and figure it out. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, this is it. Like, I've invested everything into this place, so it has to work.
It has to work.
And I think that's probably that's how I am. Like, I'm like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I look back at that girl and I'm like, I think I got lucky in a lot of ways too, that, I did find a job and I was able to stay, and I, it's not an easy place to live, but I loved it. I loved living there.
What was your first job in New York?
My very first job I got was as a cater waiter, like for a catering agency.
Okay.
And then I think that was like day 3 in New York. I got that job.
Oh my goodness, that's a pretty good job too.
Yeah, I mean it's where a lot of people start when you move to New York, because there's always gigs. Yep. And then I also worked as a nanny for like a little 6-month-old baby. I was like her like nanny a few days a week.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you were doing everything.
And I worked retail. Yeah, I worked.
You did it all.
I did a lot.
Wow. So what's your most New York moment that you've had? Was it the walking in and not having your apartment done?
Oh gosh. I mean, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like that first year was just a lot of, we had a bed bug scare at one point. We had, it was just like, there was always a thing. We got
Always
robbed,
something.
actually.
That's what I was waiting for, because everyone has that story of, yeah, that time I was robbed at gunpoint in New York, and you're like, wait, are you okay?
Oh, well, we, no, our apartment got robbed because,
There wasn't a lock on the door. No.
no, it's even dumber. So the building had a bunch of empty apartments, and we were the first one to be renovated in a series of renovations.
Naturally. Yeah.
So I think what we kind of came to learn later was that squatters knew there were empty apartments in there and were kind of sneaking in at night to sleep there.
Oh my
Just
God.
like because they thought the apartments were empty
Sure,
and
yeah.
Whatever. And we had recently moved in, and no one knew that, right? Because it was a newly renovated apartment.
Sure.
And so these two guys came in one night just to sleep, we think. And one of my roommates had left the night before to go to her boyfriend's and didn't lock the door behind her. And we were so green that we didn't even know that like apartment doors in New York, like you could like do the auto lock where it like automatically closes behind you.
Mm-hmm.
We learned it that night that they do that.
Oh my God.
So we were like manually locking our door every time we came and went,
Yeah.
She left to her boyfriend's, didn't lock the door. In the middle of the night, these two guys come in. Luckily, they walked into my male roommate's room.
Okay.
Which I'm very grateful for, because it could have been worse maybe.
Yeah.
Could have been a different situation. They walked into his room. They turned the light on. They were just as surprised to see him as he was to see them from the way he tells the story. It was like a lot of chaos. And he's blind without his glasses, so he's like reaching for his glasses. He's trying to figure it out.
This poor guy.
They run. They leave. He's like, get out, get out. They run. They leave. It's fine. He comes into my room. He wakes me up. He's like, there were just two guys in my room? And I said... And I'm the opposite, right? Like, I'm not, he's like a groggy, like he's slowly kind of come, and I'm up like a light. And I'm like, did you call the police?
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, were they your friends?
yeah,
Like,
I'm
are
like,
you okay?
did they steal anything? And I'm immediately like running around the apartment, like looking to see if anything's missing.
Oh my God. You're like, are you okay? Did they hurt you?
Yeah, right.
I'm
I'm like action mode again, right? And he's like, no, I don't know. They just left. And I was like, they just left? Like they didn't take anything? And then all of a sudden his eyes get really big and he runs into his room and he realizes his laptop is gone. So like in his like groggy state looking for his glasses, they had swiped his laptop. I don't think they came in to rob us. I think they just saw an opportunity because they were there.
Because they were there, yeah.
And we could see this. There's security cameras like downstairs that we saw after the fact that when they were leaving, you could tell there was like something under their shirt.
Oh my God.
And so we call. We also had another friend staying with us who had been apartment hunting, so she was like, crashing.
Poor her. She was probably terrified.
We call the police. Also, it was like they brought out the big guns for this too. We call the police. Shows up 2 detectives.
Okay.
And a lady like was there like sweeping for fingerprints, doing the little like dusting for fingerprints thing.
Oh hell yeah. Okay.
And these detectives are like yelling at us. We're all like sitting on our little futon.
Stop.
Probably
Probably from the local Walmart. That's where mine was from. Yeah.
And like these police detectives are like, you idiots! Like this is New York City. You can't leave your door unlocked. And we were like, yes, sir. We know, sir. Like,
You're like, I'm so sorry. I got robbed.
I know.
Actually, I'm really sorry.
yeah, and they're like, there's nothing we can do. Like, you're never seeing that again. And the other person's like dusting for fingerprints, like,
Oh my God.
gave us like the biggest lecture, taught us how to auto lock our door. Important. That's what I mean. I feel like, it's like we had so many, I feel like especially in my first couple of years, there were so many just like New York moments that I'm like, that could have been so much worse. But,
Exactly.
someone was looking out for us, or, we made it through
Totally.
somehow. Like, yeah.
Oh, and what part of the city were you in?
So I lived on 155th for my first 5 years. That's where that was.
Oh,
which
nice.
ended up, as rocky as it started, I loved living there.
Yeah.
It ended up being like a great, for the most part, there were some bugs, there were some problems, but that's pretty, I feel like, par for the course in your first New York apartment.
Totally. And the fact
and
that
all
you got
things
it all out of the way the first year.
All things considered, it was a really good place to live. They like rarely raised our rent, so it was the perfect. Like that's why I stayed there for 5 years, because it was just so affordable for in your early 20s.
Oh my gosh.
Neighborhood was good, and then I moved to Brooklyn for a while with my partner.
I most recently I went to Brooklyn for the first time in like maybe 7 or 8 years this year. And we were invited up to like an opening of a bar up there. And for some reason, I have this like Sex and the City mentality of Brooklyn where I'm like, Brooklyn's not cute. Like it's not aesthetic. I loved it. In
Yes.
doses, I'm good with the city. I think I went to school in Wilmington, Delaware. So, like, I'm used to that, like, they called it Kilmington back in the day of, like, okay, you're going to die on these streets. So, like, I've been going to New York more often. I kind of grew up in that New York, like, adjacent atmosphere. So, I'm like, okay, maybe we take some time and we do Brooklyn next time.
Yeah. I think the cool thing about New York, too, is that you could live there for years and never see all of it because and every neighborhood has its own vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really just it's a cool place. There's just endless things to do and see and explore.
Endless. When I went up, so my best friend and I took a trip, and she lived up there. So she had an apartment up there, and I was like, oh, I'll come up with you for the weekend. We were just graduated college, and this is when my most, like, New York thing that's happened to me is we're maybe like 1 a.m. We're walking home from a bar, and there's an overhang, and it's like for a funeral home, and I was like, we were like taking Snapchats or whatever was cool at the time. And I was like, that's like, there's a funeral home sign in the back. And underneath the funeral home was a karaoke bar. And I remember just being like, this is so weird that this is like formaldehyde upstairs, downstairs tequila shots. Like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm loving it. And I remember like getting home that night and I was like, this will never happen to me in Philadelphia, ever. I'm not ever going to walk into a karaoke bar and be like, okay, there's dead people upstairs. Yeah, like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
It's truly New York.
I will say when I lived there, I was very like New York or nowhere. I love it. So moving to Philly was like a big surprise in my life too. Like I never pictured myself living there or really just anywhere else. So shout out to my new home, Philly. I am really enjoying it.
So you mentioned your partner.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet? Was that through acting? Was that through something else?
No, we were working retail together in Soho in New York.
Where were you working retail?
Lululemon.
You met under Lululemon lights. That is so freaking cute.
In the stretchiest pants.
Oh my.
Lululemon lights. Yeah. We've been together for 10 years. We met in 2016.
Oh my gosh. You don't look like you could have been with someone for 10 years. You look 26. You met when you were 15, 16 years old.
That's a fun game. Guess my age.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so did you fall in love first sight? Like, you met him and you were like, this is the guy I want to be with forever.
Not really.
You're like, no, I'm still not sure, actually.
He's great. I was 24. And so I was not looking for my person. I was definitely in my, like, carefree dating era.
Sure.
And, you know, on all the apps, just doing my, like, the
rite
best.
of passage.
Yeah, when you're 24 in New York, like, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And he was the new guy at work. And I definitely thought he was cute, but was not, I don't think that's where my mind was necessarily.
Right.
But I remember there was one day we were both getting off around, like, dinner time. Like, our shifts were ending around dinner time, and I didn't feel like going home, but I didn't have plans. And we're in Soho, so I was like, I'm going to just go grab dinner somewhere. Like, do you want to join me? Like, hey, new guy, like, want to go get dinner, you know?
Oh my God, I love it.
And he was like, oh, okay. And so we got dinner. But now he always jokes that was me, like, making the first move, asking him out.
Ooh.
Which I guess it kind of was, but it wasn't necessarily my specific intention.
Sure.
But I think we just became really fast friends.
Oh.
And then fast other things, you know, like it was just kind of very natural, but we hid it from our coworkers because we're like, we don't know if this is a thing and we don't need all our coworkers in our business.
Especially in retail.
Yeah.
Yep. Everyone would be on your shit.
Yeah. We had one manager that clocked us because he was like, well, you guys always like start together and you'll like, if one of you ends a shift before, you'll find some excuse to hang around until the other one's done. He was like, it was pretty obvious.
Like, I can see what's going on
but
here,
no one else
actually.
figured it out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then I ended up leaving Lulu after a few months. So then like we were clear to
So you mentioned Soho, so I have to ask you, just because I've been doing a poll of New Yorkers and asking if I'll get in trouble for this. And on Threads, people are like, you're literally fine. I think you're panicking for no reason. If I want to go and buy a bag from one of those people on the street that are selling them, the other studio we record at is WTF Studio, so it's right in the middle of Soho. Am I going to get in trouble? I can buy a bag, like a knockoff bag, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, is it okay if I follow them to their car? Because a lot of them have, like, the booklets. They're, like, those little women with the booklets, and they're like, come to my vehicle, lady. Do you think that's fine, right?
I think as long as you're staying in a public place.
Yeah. Okay.
Safety-wise, I don't know if I would follow someone.
Oh, sure.
But legally, I don't think anyone's coming for you.
That's what I thought. And so, like, there's a lot of discourse online where people are like, girl, you got to to be cool. Like, no cops are really going to care if you're buying a fake Balenciaga bag. But, like, I've always just wanted to do it just for the thrill.
I mean, I'm no lawyer, but if I feel like they are so brazen out there selling.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
they're not going to waste their time on you. Like,
fair enough. Because they look pretty high quality. I digress. This is like a whole other topic that I'm into.
But not my area of expertise, but I think you'd be fine.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to use that. So if I do get arrested, I'll be like, okay, I need to call my friend Carly. I need to call my friend Carly because she said that this was legal here.
She lived there once and she said it's fine.
She lived there once and she said it's amazing and everyone does it. So tell me about your sweatshirt that you're wearing.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were all complimenting it when you came in.
Thank you. So it says Larry Servi's East End Kids. This is the performing arts group that I was a part of growing up.
Aww.
And Larry Servi, my lifelong mentor, he passed away recently.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And I don't know, I was getting dressed this morning and I saw this in my closet and I just thought,
yeah, why not?
I wanted, it felt like a cozy, I don't really wear it, you know. Fire engine red is not typically like the color I gravitate towards.
I was going to say, you look great in red though.
Thank you.
You look, and it matches your bag too. If you didn't see, she came in here with a fire red bag.
I know, those are like the two red things I own. I was like, that's my outfit today. But yeah, so this is my special shout out to Larry Servi's East End Kids.
Oh, I love that. So we talked about you being a child actress, you getting into the arts world. Now I have to ask you, because I did child acting for a little bit. My sister did more than I did. We did this program called ACT. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
It's one of those things that I've been asking people recently because, you know, like how on TikTok there's that trending thing of like the gifted program and there's that conspiracy theory behind it.
Uh-huh.
I think that there must be one with this ACT because we used to go to like the Sheridan in the middle of Philadelphia and then we would go to New York sometimes. They would send us on auditions and like the auditions were very creepy, like, and I feel like a lot of them like would be, but they were like underground in the city, no windows, and like you were auditioning for these random ass parts. But it was called ACT, and they had like these different 30 to 60-second TV commercials, and they'd be like, "Is your kid destined to be a child actor?" And I was always like, "Yes, mom, that's me. They're talking to me. They want me there." And now I look back and I'm like, there were hundreds and hundreds of kids doing this. Like, this Sheridan was packed on a Saturday for this. I'm like, was this there's a conspiracy theory in here somewhere. Like, maybe they were, I don't know, money laundering.
Honestly, now I think everything is a conspiracy.
Me too.
The older I get, I'm like,
What's your favorite conspiracy theory right now?
Oh, gosh. Not for off air. I feel like they're so dark nowadays too. It's like
no, they are so dark.
It's getting twistier and darker.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm so much more open-minded.
So am I. Yeah, I love to go on YouTube and just watch a full video essay on something I don't think really happened, and then be like, "Yep, aliens are real." Mm-hmm.
Oh, 1000%. I don't even think that's a conspiracy. I do think aliens are real.
I believe that too.
Absolutely.
I mean, after Obama was like, "They're not at Area 51," I was like, "So where are they?"
Oh,
Barack.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've always kind of felt that way. I don't think that they exist in the way that maybe we think they exist, but how self-centered would we be to think that we're the only beings in the galaxy? You know, like
what a good point.
Like, of course. I also think like we are probably like one of the least evolved species.
Interesting.
I think I feel like the aliens watch us. Like we are their reality TV. They're like, look at these idiots just like
I love that concept. I like am obsessed. That needs to be a Adult Swim TV show. The aliens are just watching us. Like that's so good.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, so
I need them to step in. I think we need them to step in soon because things are not going well.
Things are not going well.
Please come help us. I promise. Like some of us are nice.
You can live with me or Carly. Yeah, Carly's used to strangers living in her apartment. So
I was in a job interview once, like semi-recently, where they asked if I would ever go to space. That was like, it was kind of their weird, I think, just like.
And what'd you say?
Weird question. They were like, would you ever go to space? And I said, never in anything man-made. But if the aliens wanted to come get me and take me for a little ride, absolutely.
What a great answer to that question. Was the interviewer like, oh, okay. Like, who says that?
Yeah, they were both like, that's the best answer we've heard, actually. Me
so
too.
Funny.
I agree with that. Yeah.
They're like, same, actually.
Yeah, same.
So we're talking about conspiracy theories. This ties in really well to something that you've just done.
Conspiracists.
Tell me about it. Tell me about the film. Where can you stream it?
Yes, it's a feature-length mockumentary. So if you're familiar with the mockumentary style, it's very inspired by Christopher Guest movies from like the 90s, 2000s, Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman, or like TV shows like The Office, Parks and Rec that are done in a fake documentary style. But it's a 90-minute feature, follows a brother and sister who are planning a conspiracy convention, aka Con.
Love it.
And the main wrinkle is that my character is the ex-fiance to the brother. And so kind of the drama that unfolds from our breakup is kind of threatening Con. And but you meet just like, in true mockumentary style, you just meet a bunch of different kinds of characters. You get to kind of learn some of their conspiracy theories.
I love it.
But it's also very sweet. It has a lot of heart. It has a nice underlying message just about community and like why do people seek spaces, right? Like we all, at the end of the day, we all just want to find a place where we belong.
Totally, your niche.
Yeah. So it's really fun. It's available to stream on Amazon Prime, Verizon Fios, Tubi. It's on a few,
So tell me, you play a podcaster.
I do.
So right now, we're podcasting. Obviously, this is a really popular show, and everybody on Earth listens to it, and beyond, and aliens as well.
The aliens are listening, yeah.
Totally. And if they weren't, I'd be very offended. But what did you learn about podcasting? Was it weird for you to be a podcaster? What's different than like real life?
Oh yeah, I did have to work on like my podcast voice.
Ooh.
I was actually really struggling with it a bit in rehearsals, and it's like a big no-no to give an actor a line reading. That's what it's called, where the director will say like, "I want you to say it exactly like this," right? And they'll give you kind of the inflection or
got it.
A lot of people are like line reading is very taboo. I was not getting the podcasting kind of cadence right.
Interesting. Okay.
And I knew I wasn't, and my wonderful friend, who our director. He didn't want to give me a line reading, and at one point I was like, "Can you just say it for me?"
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing it, and I need to like hear
the
because I do feel like there is this sort of cliche cadence,
totally.
That we were trying to achieve with this character. So he did it for me, and I was like, "Okay, all right." And then I could practice kind of in that cadence,
right?
And then when we got to set, they had to like show me how to use the microphones because I was very kind of awkward with them.
Oh my gosh!
And they were like, "You have to look like you talk, like you use these every day."
Oh my goodness.
So there was a little bit of a learning curve, but yeah, she's like an influencer in the conspiracy space. Yeah.
That's so cool. Did it make you, any part of you, even a little part of you, did it make you want to start your own podcast? Because just talking to you here and the conversations we've had like offline, you have so many stories and you're so fucking cool. Like I would sit and listen to you. Like, have you ever thought about it?
I have. Well, my partner Jonathan and I joke about starting a podcast together all the time.
Do it.
But then I also think that feels like a lot. I don't know. I'm happy to be a guest. I'll come here and chat with you anytime.
Amazing. Well, we love to hear that on the show because we don't always get that feedback.
I don't know if I have the energy to really actually start one. But I do love them. I love listening.
What's your favorite podcast besides this one, of course?
Well, my favorite this year is probably the cliche answer is Good Hang. Good Hang is
it's so well done.
Yes, it's so well done. I mean, I've always been a big Amy Poehler fan. And so when she started a podcast, like, of course.
Yeah, I'm there. You're going to listen.
But I also just love the way she does it. And I love the, like, talking well behind people's backs. I love just the way she interviews is so natural and fun to listen to. It feels like you're a part of the conversation with these celebrities, Yeah. And I love that her whole background sort of, I guess it's partially a joke, but I think it's probably true, is that there's all these men just half-assing their way through podcasts.
Totally.
So why can't I?
Yeah,
and then
why not?
She went to become like number one, within her first few months.
Insane. Yeah. Everything she does turns to gold. It's like one of those things. You mentioned the mockumentary styles and shows and movies like that. One of my favorite movies, Spinal Tap.
Yes.
Very like mockumentary-esque. And then The Office and Parks and Rec hold that like special place in my heart. Is there a character from Parks and Rec that you identify most with?
Oh, it'd probably be Leslie Knope.
Really?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, for sure. I think I have a lot of that character in me.
Yeah.
I care a lot. I care sometimes too much, and I want everyone to be
and that shows through your work, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's gotten me in trouble at some points in my life, being, I worry about other people's feelings and well-beings quite a lot.
Me too. Yeah.
But I think that's what's so endearing about the Leslie Knope character, right? Is that she's she's so earnest. She's a badass who gets shit done, but she does it from a really empathetic place.
Totally.
Yeah. So I think characters like that, like showing women like that is nice.
It's so important, especially so many years later. Tell me, you have had a cancer journey and you're a 2-time cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what that was like besides horrible. Like,
so my first diagnosis was when I was pretty young. I was 19.
wow.
And I was in college, and I think I didn't really let it faze me. I was very determined to not – I didn't want that to be what I was known for. I feel like at 19 and in college, like, you're trying to make your mark and
Totally.
figure out who you are. And I was like, I don't want that to be part of my identity. Like, I really pushed against it.
That's so powerful, yeah.
And I kind of just plowed through. And, you know, I think now in hindsight, I realize, like, the long-term side effects and things from that more so than I did for, like, the years after. Because I just was young. I had energy. I plowed through it. And you know, that was that.
Yeah.
Getting my second diagnosis a few years ago hit me like a train. Like I went to a dark place for a bit, and I remember even my mom and my partner were like, you have to be positive, you know, you're only going to get through this if you're positive. It's not like you to be so negative. You're usually the strong one, you know, the positive one. And I remember saying to them at one point, I was like, I hear you, and I'm sure I will get to that place again, but I need you to let me go through it.
Yeah.
Because this is awful.
Yeah.
Like, no, you know, and they were both head and neck cancers, unrelated. I do believe they're related, but, you know, genetically not connected,
Okay.
I'll say. And, you know, I've never smoked a day in my life. Like, I'm a pretty healthy person. Like, so, you know, not that means much in this day and age, I think, but it really, I went through that period where it was just very much like, why me?
Yeah.
You know, like there was nothing I could point to be like, why, you know? And I just had to go through my dark place, and they let me. They were like, okay, go to your dark place. Like, you know, we'll see you on the other side. They were, you know, not that they
were
were
supportive. Yeah.
Yeah, they were there, but I was like, I really just feel like I need to go, you know, through this. I need to work myself through this. And with my second cancer, it was a very different process. Like, it took a much harder toll on my body, on my mind. And I think it forced me to process the stuff from my first cancer, too, that maybe I had kind of buried.
Yikes.
But I will say, when I came out the other side and I knew, okay, I'm not dying, I'm good, it kind of reinvigorated my acting, because I had kind of gone through a few years where I thought maybe I don't want to pursue acting in the same way anymore. I was a little maybe like belated quarter life crisis, you know, like it was in my early 30s. I turned 30 and I was kind of like, maybe I would do something else. I don't know. Like, what do I want?
Yeah, you're still so young. You can do whatever you wanted. Yeah.
What do I want my next decade of life to look like? Yeah. And I was like, maybe it's not acting. And that thought kind of scared me, because I'd never really questioned it before. But anyway, I came through my cancer diagnosis, and that was actually the thing that kind of shook me out of that. And I came out and I said, you know, I want to be an actor. That's all I've ever really wanted. There's other things I love. There's other things I do. But at the end of the day, I'll never not want to pursue this. Yeah. And life is short.
Yeah.
So why not? And I, you know, I think I realized I had a lot of fear that held me back too from certain things. Fear of the unknown with acting, or fear of rejection. Maybe a little bit how we started this. You know, I do think there is maybe a little bit in that, right? Like, I always felt like I made a bad impression. I had a lot of like social anxiety with it, and networking is such a big part of being an actor.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I think I held myself back a lot. And coming out of the diagnosis, I thought, you know, like, I have beat cancer twice. Like, I can go talk to people about being an actor. Like, I can do this. Like, this is not scary. I've done scary. This is not scary, you know? And I'm just going to go after the thing I really love.
It's so wild to me to hear you say, like, you were so fearful, because everyone that's listening or watching this podcast here, I think they're getting the same vibe that I am, that you're so fearless. So thinking that you were able to go from being so fearful to being fearless and so confident is incredible. And you also said something in the beginning that really touched with me, and I feel like will touch with a lot of my listeners, is you said your mom and your partner expressed that it was weird to see you, the strong one, be weak, like be not strong in that moment. And I feel like even a lot of us deal with that in such small ways, not health related, but maybe it's boyfriend or girlfriends or relationships and friendships and jobs and things like that. How did you feel when they said that? First off, of, oh, it's so strange to see the strong one not being strong in this moment. And did that kind of shape the way that you viewed other circumstances after that? Of like, I always am the strong one in most of these.
That's a great question. I think I already knew that about myself.
You did.
I've always been the friend that friends come to, usually.
That's awesome.
You know,
I can
like
see that.
I'm the like, I think I've always, even if they don't want it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
like,
I can see that.
Like I remember going through a similar thing after my dad passed away, where, you know, people always want to be like, are you okay? Like, are you okay?
Right, yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Like, how are you? I'm good.
Yeah.
And then people want to push to be like, I know you're not good, right? Like, something's going on. I know
Right.
you're not good. And I remember then having the realization where I was like, look, no, I'm not good.
Right. Right.
I'm sad. I'm grieving. Or, you know.
And I'm allowed to be.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like, but I think for me, I've always been that person where it's like, I can't live full time in that place.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you don't get up, you know, like you're not. So I was like, just trust that if I need to talk, if I'm really not good and I need to talk about it, I will come to you.
Right.
Trust that I will do that. But otherwise, if I say I'm good, it just means like, I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
I want to talk about anything else.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, and I've learned this through grief with my dad and through my cancer diagnosis, a lot of people don't know how to talk to someone going through something heavy like that.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Which is totally fair.
Yeah.
It's a really hard thing. Even, you know, I have some experience and I still feel those pains of discomfort if a friend loses someone or is going through something, and I think like, okay, what do I text them? What do I say? How do I, you know? And I think my approach, right or wrong, is I usually just say, I'm here for you, whether you want to talk about it or you want to talk about literally anything but it.
That's awesome. Like, that's such a good guide to go by, because you're offering, like, I'm here. Everything's okay. But also, if everything's not okay with you and you want to talk about it, I'm also here.
Yeah.
Like,
but also sometimes the thing you need is distraction, is that like sense of normalcy, is you just want to know someone's thinking about you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it sucks you're going through this. I'm thinking about you. If you want to talk, I'm here. If you want a distraction, I'm here. Like, it's all good. Because I think that's often, when I was going through my cancer diagnosis, I had to be at the hospital every day for treatment. And Jonathan, my partner, would drive me to the hospital every day. And then I did my radiation in Philly. Actually, this circles back to the Philly conversation.
oh my goodness.
And we would leave the hospital, and then I was like, I don't want to look back at this summer and only remember hospitals.
Right.
Like, I want to imprint good memories on this time too. So we would leave the hospital and we'd go try a restaurant or a walk around a museum or walk around a neighborhood or just do a thing. And the accidental end result at the end of the summer, I was like, Philly's cool. Fuck, I want to move here, you know? And
I love that.
That was like so not on my horizon at all. But I kind of forced myself to get out and do fun things. And this wonderful thing came out of it. So I think that's sort of a roundabout answer to your question, right? I just think it's like, even through the hard times, I am the person that finds the positive. So I think in that moment where I was really dark, it was a little bit of a like, back off.
Yeah.
Like, let me be dark, because sometimes, because it's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to go dark. And I trusted myself enough to know I would work my way out of it. It just would take time, and I did.
This has been so inspirational. It's been funny. I've laughed. I've cried. I've done it all on this podcast.
I could keep chatting. Yeah.
I know. We could chat for hours. You're going to have to come back on the podcast
I would
for
love to.
sure.
Anytime.
We've had Carly Otte here today on the Taylor Show.
Watch the Conspiracists.
Watch the Conspiracists. You're going to want to follow her on social media. Give your handle one more time.
It's just at Carly Otte.
Awesome. I will link it below in the podcast description alongside all of her works. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye, guys.
Bye.